Now it's time for another Board Game Brawl preview with Nick Minahan, sponsored by BoardGameBliss.com.
Hey peeps, today we're going to take a look at a game that is currently seeking funding on Kickstarter. That game is called Cosmic Pioneers, and it's from Vesuvius Media. If you like what you see throughout the rest of this preview video, you don't have to take my word for it for Cosmic Pioneers. You can instead go to the official Kickstarter project page. There will be a link up in the top corner of your screen as well as down in the description section underneath the video. Those links will take you to the page and you can find out more information. Now, Cosmic Pioneers is a competitive game where you and the other players take control of commanders of your own starship, and you're trying to go to this newly found Andromeda system that's fresh, habitable, if I'm saying that correctly, always have problems with that, habitable worlds that not only flourish with different types of resources that you can gain, but also potentially dangerous life forms, potentially exploitable life forms as well. And of course, you want to put your own colonists on these planets in order to sort of have to beat the other players out of a land rush of sorts. So like I said, it is competitive, and you're trying to hedge out the other players as best you can. Sometimes that involves combat as well. At the end of it all, you want to get the most victory points, which can also come about from having the most money as well. So let me go ahead and give you a brief look at how the game is played with a prototype version of the game. Even the box is prototype, so it may not look the same in the final version. Just keep that in mind along with all the rest of the components. But then we're going to come back and I'll give you my final thoughts.
Cosmic Pioneers is a competitive game for 2 to 4 players. The goal is to have the most victory points at the end of the game. The game ends after 12 rounds, at which time you'll each earn 1 point for each of your colonists that's on a planet, 5 points for every planet that you actively control, and 1 point for every 500 credits that you have left. To set up the game, place the jump gate down on the table. Randomize one of each of the alien cards, and then draw 2 of those. For now, the only thing you need to pay attention to on those cards are the planets and the numbers underneath the pictures. Together with that, shuffle up the scenario cards and draw one. These give you special setup rules, like starting with extra credits, starting with colonists in play, or starting with free upgrades. On top of that, however, you also have planets and numbers just like the alien cards. Combine the total of the planets and colors on the 2 alien cards in 1 scenario card. These 11 planets will make up the solar system that you're adventuring in. Take those planets and place them randomly around the table, making a ring together with the jump gate. Each player's ship starts on the jump gate. You may also use the trading post if the scenario calls for it, which is another place to trade goods, but we'll talk about that some other time. Make the alien deck by taking 1 card of the appropriate alien for each matching planet in your system. The round tracker starts at 1, and you'll also have a stock of credits and good tokens, as well as wooden colored pieces for each alien type. Every player takes a playmat and black cubes, which they'll put on the first rank of all 4 skills. They'll start with the bonus upgrade of the player's choice by moving 1 cube to level 2. Every player has a different special ability and starts with 4 cargo spots that can hold colonists or goods. Weapons upgrades give you bonuses to hit and potentially credits from your opponents. Cargo upgrades let you carry more goods or colonists and eventually let you carry aliens. Bomb upgrades let you roll the dice and randomly kill either aliens or colonists until level 3 when you can choose which type you want to kill. Finally, engines give you more movement potential, eventually up to 5 sectors. Here's how a round works. In every round after the first thing you do is draw an alien card and resolve it. If there are already aliens of that type on the board, they resolve the action on the card, like the slime doubling or the lizard moving and potentially killing a life form. Then, if there are no aliens of that type on some or all of the matching planets, spawn aliens on those planets in the rightmost colonization spots. Next, players have a chance to move. You can move a number of adjacent sectors depending on your engines. You can't end your movement on an asteroid space, but you can move through them normally. If you end up in the same space with another player's ship, you must attack it. Each player rolls a die and adds their bonus from weapons upgrades. Ties go to the defender. The loser crash lands onto an adjacent planet. The ship is set on its side, and any aliens and colonists that are being carried are dropped into empty colonization spots, with any that can't fit being killed. Goods just get put onto the planet. The crashed ship will get up and be able to move next turn. For Phase 3, if you ended your movement in the orbit of a planet, you must go on an adventure. Roll a d6 and see what happens. You might drop off or lose colonists, or gain or lose credits, or even crash land or face an alien. If you stopped on a jump gate, however, you'll get to dump any unwanted cargo, bring on colonists, gain credits depending on controlled planets, and spend credits to upgrade your ship. Next is deployment, where you can drop off colonists and aliens or load them onto your ship from the planet. You can also offload goods, which may net you bonuses depending on the scenario. Note that if all green colonization spaces are occupied by colonists, that colony is considered controlled. Whichever player has a clear majority of those colonists is the one who gains that control. Finally, the last phase is bombardment. Depending on your bomb level, you can roll a die and eliminate aliens and potentially colonists, perhaps even your own. At the end of the round, you pass the first player marker and then start the next round. At the end of the 12th round, however, you stop and add up all of your points as I described at the beginning of this overview, and whoever has the most points is the winner.
Cosmic Pioneers is very interesting because you can look at it as a sort of 4X game, or at least a few of those X's in the 4X, in that you're exploring these different worlds. You have to potentially exterminate not just alien life forms, but also rival colonists, sometimes accidentally your own colonists, and of course try to, in some instances, crash land your opponent's spaceship. So there is combat in the game, but nevertheless, despite these, what I think some people would call sort of Ameritrashy elements, you are also doing, resource management. You're doing tech trees in a sense, where you're upgrading your ship to make it better in order to hedge out your opponents and get, if you're upgrading your engines, you're trying to get to planets faster and have more versatility on the planets you can get to in just one single move. And you're also improving your cargo gives you more capacity to do the pick up and deliver aspects of the game, where this is also dependent on the scenario a lot, which is a very interesting thing because some scenarios really reward the pick up and deliver aspects. Some of them are more for colonists, or some of them are just pushing you to upgrade as much as possible. Things like this. This is another interesting thing about the game is that you have this aspect of the different scenarios, which gives you more potential replayability value because, or replay value, because every game that you play, you can do potentially a different one of these scenarios. I think the final version of the game will have at least 10. Who knows what gets unlocked during the course of the project. But also the fact that the setup of the game is so variable. The setup of what planets you're going to have out on the table with which aliens being represented is going to be completely different in every game. I think that in some press kits that I saw, there was like millions of permutations of the game potentially. So every game is going to be at least a little bit different, sometimes majorly different than the games that were before it, when you mix all these disparate elements together, the scenarios and the setup, the different aliens, things like that. But at the same time, while you have potential great variability, lots of different things you can keep track of, different player special powers, different ways that you may choose to upgrade, because everyone gets a starting bonus upgrade at the beginning that can really cater where you're going to go. Despite all of these things going on, which seems like a lot of stuff, and it is still a very straightforward game. I would actually put this as a family-weight game. It's very easy to learn. It's very easy to get into. It doesn't take a long time to learn or to teach to other people, and you can just jump right into it. And the actual game time, while it does have that surprising amount of depth and strategy for a game that is so easy to learn, it's not that long either. The game does not outstay its welcome. So I think that for all of these different reasons, and again, I only had a prototype copy of the game, but the final version is going to have even nicer components. So when you take all of these different elements together, I think that it's going to be a very good game potentially for people who are into the resource management aspects, the pick up and deliver aspects, but like some of the little Ameritrash aspects, and also people who just want an easier game for more casual gamers as well. So if you fall into any of those potential categories, this might be a good game for you, but you don't have to take anything I said here in this video for granted. You can go to the official Kickstarter project page. There'll be a link up in the top corner of your screen as well as down in the description section of the video. Go there, find out even more information than I could possibly tell you here in other videos from other people as well, and hopefully you will consider backing the project. That is Cosmic Pioneers from Vesuvius Media. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon. And make sure to check out our sponsor, Board Game Bliss, where you can find an amazing selection of games from around the world. BoardGameBliss.com. Thanks for your support.